Hey, welcome to the channel where we show you how to put some prep in your step. Today I want to talk about the order in which Tableau Prep processes changes and calculations. Because if you've tried to use an LOD before and tried to combine it with an if statement, you get the error that they can't be combined in that way. But you can use the sequential manner in which Tableau Prep processes those changes to still achieve what you're trying to do, and you can once you sort of understand that, you can start to create some really powerful and efficient data sets, making sure you're getting exactly the information you need, you're filtering it the way that you need it to be filtered, and the end result only includes what you need it to include. So let's dive into it. So I've connected to my sample superstore dataset, and I'm just going to pull in the orders table so we can work through a quick example. So let's say I just wanted to remove ship mode, and I wanted to remove segment. So Tableau Prep, when we go to run the flow, is going to process those changes in this order, in the order that they're happening, in the way that it's tracking it. And so if I go in this next piece to remove customer name and customer ID, it's going to remove them both in this step. So it's removing this one, then removing this one, then removing both. And so when you start to understand the order in which Prep is processing things, you can do some really powerful things with it. And so one of the issues that you might run into is when you're using conditional calculations, right? So let's say just for this example, I'm going to use a fixed calculation, and I'm going to do region and order date and say sum of sales. So this is just saying, for every order date and region, give me the sum of sales and fix that. But what if I was saying I only want it to do that if the order date is equal to today? So I'm essentially trying to create a current day regional sales calculation. So if order date equals today, then my fixed calculation end. I'm going to get this error. And the error is combining level of detail expressions with other expressions is not supported. So I can't do both of these. It's not supported. But what I can do is I can create my calculation, right? So let's call this current day regional sales. So I can create that calculation, right? And then now that the calculation is created, now I can create a filter that says if order date equals today, or a calculation, sorry, if order date equals today, then give me my current day regional sales. And now the calculation is valid. And you might be thinking, well, but that's still a calculation, so why does it work now? Well, it works because once Prep processes this step, or this change, it becomes baked into your data set. So it's no longer a calculation. Prep processed the calculation and created a field in your data set. So now I can use that field for other purposes. So you do have to break it up into multiple steps, but you can still get to the end result and still achieve what you're trying to achieve. And so this also makes it easier if I need to simplify my data set, but I need to simplify it based on some conditions. So if I wanted my data set only to include, let's say if California has a lot of records, right? I want my data set only to include California. Let's say I'm doing a deep dive into sales in California, but I also need to compare it to sales in the country. So what I could do is I could create a calculation that says, fixed, say fixed at the country. Oops. All right. Fixed at the country, give me my sum of sales, right? So let's say country sales. Okay, so there's my country sales, but now I only want California, right? So I can go here and say keep only records in California. Well, but I still have my total sales for the country. So I can reduce my data set down to what I need, but still use these previous changes to my benefit to make sure that I'm still including information that might relate to other things. And then when you're going to process your final output, any fields that were needed to calculate a specific metric but aren't necessarily needed in the final output can be removed, and it doesn't mess you up. It doesn't mess up anything. So understanding how Prep processes those things step by step can really help you create, a narrower scope to what you're looking for, so you don't have to include fields that are unnecessary like you would in desktop, where you have to bring in all these fields just to make a calculation, even though you don't necessarily need the fields themselves. So just something to keep in mind as you're creating your flows and trying to make them a little bit more efficient. So just a quick tip here today. I hope you found it useful. Leave me some comments, some feedback. You can always shoot me a message if there's specific use cases that you're wanting to see demonstrated. And I hope to see you in the next one.